beer tubers, happy New Brunswick Day in all your respective provinces, or whatever you call it down there. Natal Day in Nova Scotia, civic holidays, wherever. Here in New Brunswick we call it New Brunswick Day, and we are going to drink a New Brunswick brew. We're going to take a look at something from a local brew pub called Big Tide. If you've watched my channel in the past, you've probably damn well heard of it because they're awesome. And we get a lot of beer from it because they're in the city. So let's take a look at this one. We're going to take a look at a new one they just put out. But I think it was this last week too, because I was in the brewery. I can't remember. Anyway, it's relatively recent. And apparently it's based off of, but different hops and slightly different recipe than a beer that they put out last fall called the Transcontinental West Coast Pale Ale. Going to take a look at the Hammond River Pale Ale. Hammond River, actually from a region in which both me and Heist grew up in.
Just down the road from our childhood homes.
Mm-hmm. I grew up closer to Meehan's Cove, to be totally honest, but you know, it's the same geographic region, like
local geography.
Yeah, whatever.
Hooray,
it's like a kilometer away from each other, you know. Anyway, we're gonna take a look at this beer from
Fuzzball was even closer to it.
Fuzzball was right next to the park.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're gonna crack the top off of this one. I just had this growler filled up just after I got off of work. Oh, not even 2 hours ago. So let's fill our glasses.
Nice and fresh.
So they weren't able to tell me anything more than it's based off the West Coast IPA, West Coast Pale Ale, not IPA. They weren't able to tell me anything more than that, pretty much, and that it's a bit on the hoppy side. As soon as they said it's a bit on the hoppy side, I'm like, yes, please.
Try to pour this without getting a ton of head.
That's what she said.
Oh, no one said that.
So it's a little golden, maybe slightly orangey. That's kind of neat looking. And pretty decent head retention. Must have been on tap for a bit, if it's got that much head. I think most of their carbonation in their brews comes from the forced carbonation system they use for pumping the beer from the taps.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot of carbonation in the actual beer itself.
Yeah.
There's a nice cool color.
There's a little bit, but these Sam Adams glasses, you have a little agitator groove on the bottom that kind of picks up the head. And there's not a lot of carbonation coming off, and it almost looks like flat pop. But it does look good. It's got this nice orangey hue to the golden, like very brassy.
Nice head on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's died off a little, but I had twice as much before. I had a little bit over a finger, and look at that nice sticky lacing to the side too.
Yeah,
it's good sniff.
Not a strong smell.
There's a little bit of a breadiness underneath it, but you get to the top of this little slightly piney hop.
Yeah, it's not a particularly strong smell though.
No, there's like a little bit like a bready, a little
bread, little hops.
A little cardboardy almost.
Yeah.
Like a little diacetyl note maybe. You pick up a little bit of a butteriness.
Yeah, that could be what that is.
Yeah, it's like a little, not so much cardboardy, but it's, like I've called it in the past a little bit like new shoes. It's almost like, not so much chemical, but it's like that piney mixes in with the breadiness and the butteriness and kind of imitates the smell of a brand new pair of shoes. I guess I'm just a weirdo, I'm sorry. My head's died off. It smells good. I mean, it definitely smells inviting. It doesn't smell incredibly hoppy from the smell of it, though.
Alright, well, down the hatch.
Down the hatch. Cheers. Whatever, man.
It's definitely a pale ale.
Definitely a pale ale. Nice and light.
Yeah. It's a little light in the body. Not thin or watery, but light.
Quite light in the body, yeah. I mean, it's almost got like a medium body feel, but it's very light in the sense that it's quite dry.
Yeah.
And it's not very malty sweet. But there is a little bit of sweetness, and it's mainly like a piney hopness to it.
Yeah, there's definitely like a cardboard toasted grain, almost like buttered popcorn thing that comes in at the end there.
I wouldn't say that they actually used corn as an adjunct in this.
I really doubt it.
No, not Big Tide. But it almost comes across as tasting like, almost like tortillas. Not quite very corny. Like it's like wheat chips or something like that, like wheat thins.
Flour tortillas.
Flour tortillas.
There is a hop presence to it, but it's not super bitter.
I mean, in the back, this slightly grapefruity, mainly piney kind of hopness, like hoppiness taste kind of lingers in the back. And I've got a bunch sitting right in the very back here in my throat.
Yeah, mine's sitting more like there.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway,
but
this is I did have the Transcontinental last year, and this is reminiscent of it. But that one used like pure West Coast, possibly like the big 3 C's.
Big and grapefruity, basically. Citrusy.
Super citrusy, super piney, like it was almost an IPA if it had been a little heavier.
Yeah. But as far as pale ales go, this one's not bad. It's more the hop. It's almost West Coast in the way that it's not as malty as the hops. Like, it kind of blends together quite well.
Yeah.
But the hops that they chose are more East Coast. I guess it's about all the Hammond River people that moved out to Calgary and came home.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah, it is.
I
lived it, bitch. All right, you want to sit down with this one?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, we'll be right back. Cheers. And we're back with Hammond River Pale Ale from Big Tide Brewery. So, what do we think about this particular beer? It's not bad. It's not great. It's a great New Brunswick beer, I guess. I mean, there's better in the province, I guess. A few better. I've certainly had better, and I've certainly had better from Big Tide. But to be totally honest, it's definitely a good, solid attempt at a West Coast style pale ale. What do you think?
I think it's very drinkable. Not necessarily groundbreaking or paradigm shattering.
It's a good swaller beer. It's one of the ones that
This would be a good thing to pick up a growler for New Brunswick Day, and enjoy at a barbecue or a picnic.
Brew one to run down and try, especially if you like IPAs or something. It's not quite as hoppy as that, and I think right now they do have the Seaworthy IPA on tap, so you might as well try that one. But this one isn't bad either. It's got a nice piney, slightly citrusy, slightly floral kind of hop taste to it. But it doesn't really have a huge malt character to back it up, and I think that goes from the way that they blended a West Coast style with an East Coast style. I mean, it's almost like they forgot something. But does it make it more drinkable? In my opinion, yeah, it does make it more drinkable. It's way better than any lager out there.
Certainly. I can see this being a fairly mass market pale ale. It could give... I think it socks Moose Pale right in the balls.
It's about as exciting as Hammond River is.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I suppose Hammond River. Means Cove rocks, dude. You should call it Means Cove Pale Ale. Except it's probably going to suck. Anyway, so what are you going to give for a rating?
I'm going to say 3.5.
3.5?
Yep. I liked it.
You probably like it more than I did. I was going to give it a 3.25. I'm almost thinking 3.5, but I'm not sure if I liked it quite that much. And
Go with your gut.
My gut? 3.25.
Good.
Alright.
Make a firm decision and stand by it.
Damn it, I'm going to give it a 3.25. If you don't like it, fuck off. Excuse the language. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, definitely pick it up. It's not the best thing that Big Tide has, but if they don't have anything else,
it's not the worst.
It's definitely not the worst. There's been some stinkers, but I'm not going to admit which ones they are.
Anyway, $10 gets you a growler, and $10 fills up the growler. This is like almost 5 beers, almost 6 beers.
5.5, I think. It's a 64-ounce growler.
5.5 beers for $10.
And so the fill lines to here, usually they fill it up maybe a little bit more than that, so you might get 65 or 66. I mean,
you can't beat that value.
No, you can't. You can't beat that value with a stick. I mean, to be totally honest, it's $10 for 64 ounces of beer, and you take like 8-ounce glasses of it, it's going to last 8 times more.
Really? Since when have you ever seen $10 6-packs in New Brunswick?
And when's the last time you drank out of an 8-ounce glass? Anyway, I think we're done here. Spoon. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. We will chat with you later. This is our review of Hammond River Pale Ale from Big Tide. Go out and grab it if you like it. Talk to you later.